Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here. In today's video, it's going to be very simple. We're just going to be quickly going over the price of Bitcoin and kind of seeing the correlation between Bitcoin and traditional markets, which total bummer. I went to bed, I'm like, dang, the charts are looking so primed. And then what happened? S&P opened down and then Bitcoin followed, is what I'm pretty sure happened, but we're going to go and take a closer look at it today. So Bitcoin is sitting at just under $46,000. So this right here, sorry, I need to fix what I have going on here so it's a little bit more sturdy. Okay, all right, there we go. So this is a daily chart here on Bitcoin, and you can basically see here is I have been emphasizing for a very long time the crossover, right? This green crossing over the red. These right here are EMAs. So the green one is a 5 EMA if you want to add this to your chart, and then the red one is a 12. So when the green crosses over the red, it's typically go time. And I want to say the last time that happened, that Bitcoin crossed over here, like these percentages are quite nice. So the last crossover was over here in this range. So Bitcoin went from about 40,000 all the way up to that $69,000 range. So Bitcoin jumped, what's the percentage here? Almost 70%. Once the crossover happened here. So that's kind of like, and then as you could see, the previous crossover happened, gosh, like it went like parabolic basically. So that last crossover was here. So Bitcoin basically crossed over at about $8,100, and then obviously it topped out over here at about $65,000. So the last two times the green has crossed over the red has been extremely profitable if you enter your position there. And if you go back to the history of Bitcoin from the very beginning, I want to say almost every single time that the green crossed over the red, you would have been up like a ridiculous amount, except maybe one single time. So it's a pretty solid indicator, I would say. So when like my previous videos, I was talking about how this over here was starting to look like this over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a percentage from the bottom of this one candle to the top of this 3 candle, which is about 45%. So I'm talking about from here to here. So in a 3-week period of time, Bitcoin jumped 45%. And I just want to see how it compares. I haven't even done this yet from here to here. So 30%, not obviously, or about 28%. Not necessarily that 45%, but you know, both still obviously really great gains. So if we continue in this direction, I think the Bitcoin has still a few more weeks, 3 to 4 more weeks of upside. What I really want to see happen here, so people always ask me, what are these numbers above these candlesticks? This is the TD sequential system. That is an indicator that I have put here on TradingView. So the 3 indicators I have are the moving averages. I just told you, the 5 and the 12. I also have TD sequential, and then I have these 3 DMAs. I have a 200, a 100, and a 50. And those have really been coming in handy as well. So I've changed the colors on these. I've basically used green for the 200, yellow for the 100, and red for the 50. And as you can see here, there was definitely a ton of resistance on last week's candle when it met that 200 DMA. And when you look at lower level time frames, you're also going to see resistance around that 200 DMA. So weekly chart looking good here. What happens sometimes is that this crossover happens, and then if the price falls like quite dramatically, then it'll cross down below. I think we're pretty much in the clear here. Things are looking good. I want to see that this week's candle get above the high of last week's candle. The high of last week's candle is 48,240. So if we get above that level, like, it's going to be quite bullish, but we might once again see some resistance at that 200 DMA. So keep a really close eye there. Let's go and look at the daily chart here. Daily chart has kind of been like in this range, you know, between like 48 and about 44.5. So Bitcoin's just kind of been, you know, boggling around in that range there. There's not a ton of clarity and conviction on the daily chart with these particular candles. In my opinion, it's more of a tightening range. So we'll just have to kind of see what happens here, but not a lot of clarity on the daily chart. But like I mentioned, this candle here saw that same resistance at that 200 DMA on the daily chart as well. So let's go and look at the 12-hour chart here. 12-hour chart can once again see all that resistance up there at that 200 DMA. And then I would also say that this 12-hour chart isn't really giving us much conviction in either direction. And it's, I would say, a little bit more bearish than the daily, but not really by much. This is a 4-hour here, so just like in a tightening range. So I think that Bitcoin is kind of due for a breakout for sure. Just not a lot of clarity on which direction it's going to break out. So that's kind of what I'm thinking there. This right here is a daily chart. Daily chart doesn't look terrible, but I just don't want to see it break below the low of this candle, which is 45,129. So I want to kind of see it make a higher low and then a higher high and get above the high of this candle, which is 47.2. Okay, the 30-minute chart here is, you know, it hasn't gone below the low of this candle, which is good, but these charts are just looking odd. There's just like not a ton of clarity in either direction. So I want to head back to the hourly chart. Okay, let's see here. I'm trying to see, just because I'm in a different time zone. So the stock market has been open. Let's see here. So over here, I think, yeah. So over here in this range, you can obviously, Bitcoin is trending upwards on the hourly, and then Bitcoin has dropped since the stock market opened. And so it's dropped about 3.7%. Let's go ahead and take a look here at SPY. So obviously you could see this was yesterday's last candle. This is the first candle of the day. SPY has just been trending downwards, and Bitcoin has correlated with it exactly. And so SPY is down about 1.75% today. So one really exciting thing, this is just kind of random, that has happened lately is Elon Musk has purchased just under 10% of all Twitter stock, which is really exciting because I think he's going to influence it in a positive manner. When you kind of put that into perspective of things, I think Jack Dorsey owns, what is it, 2.25%? And then when it comes to, like, Elon Musk isn't the largest shareholder because there's a lot of funds that own like 20-ish to 20 to 30% of Twitter stock. So I mean, Twitter can be completely transformed, and I've already heard that there's Twitter employees that are resigning over it, which is pretty hilarious. Specifically the ones that deal with like flagging things that are posted on Twitter. Forgot the exact term of that. But okay, so obviously that's been like it was really positive news on Tesla, which you can see here, but then Tesla is down nearly 5% today. So I think like the markets in general are just down today. Let's take a quick look at marijuana stocks. Marijuana stocks are back, just they're getting crushed and crushed and crushed. I bought some marijuana stocks, 6+ months ago. I have held on to all of them, but wow, they are really underwater. I maybe bought like maybe $4,000 worth or so. So let's go ahead and take a look. I want to go back over and take a look at Ethereum here. Obviously the Ethereum upgrade is coming soon, which could be a positive situation, but I just want to take a little bit of a deeper dive here. So this is what's really nice. We're actually seeing stronger moves here on Ethereum because this week's candle has already started trading above the high of last week's candle, and it's already broken above that 200 DMA. We see this very bullish crossover here. I haven't gone back to back test every time that that green crossed over the red on specifically the weekly chart. But as you can see here, it happened here, which was a very great time to enter Ethereum. And like I showed you guys previously, it was around the same time that it crossed over. That would have been like back in 2020. So Ethereum is actually looking better than Bitcoin. From a percentage perspective, it's in a position to outperform Bitcoin, especially with the upgrade. That's definitely a big possibility. This right here is the daily chart on Ethereum, which in my opinion looks better than Bitcoin's. So Bitcoin's was just kind of boggling in that range. Bitcoin was looking like it had just no direction. It looked very lost, versus where, in my opinion, Ethereum looks like it kind of knows what it's doing. This is a 12-hour chart, which Bitcoin's didn't look very good, but this 12-hour chart on Ethereum actually looks pretty good, making higher highs and higher lows, and then obviously breaking above this 200 DMA. Just kind of still in that range though, but getting close to like really breaking above it. Let's go and look at the 1 hour chart here on Ethereum. Oh, I don't like, well, actually, no, it didn't break below the low of the previous candle. So we didn't want to see Ethereum break below the low of that candle, and it hasn't yet. It still can, but that's not the hour, that's the 4 hour. So the 4 hour still looking a little bit better, but I don't like this right here. It did not make a higher high, it made a lower high. So that is what's going on there. Let's take a look at the hourly chart here. All right, hourly chart. Thought my volume was off there for a second. So this is the hourly chart. I wouldn't want to see it go below the low of this candle. Kind of still holding on there on the hourly chart. Gold is at $19.22. Coinbase at $177. Coinbase got absolutely crushed. And if Coinbase potentially also follows the green crossing over the red, it's kind of pretty far from getting there. So Coinbase stock overall looks really weak. Could be a good potential to pick some of it up if it continues to go lower. So Filecoin at 24.88 today, DOT at 22.19, Link at $17, Waves at 29. I did mention in my previous video that I was going to go sell my Waves. I got distracted, and one thing about crypto is like you just have so many accounts, and it's really time consuming just to keep track of everything, and I just have a lot of distractions going on, so it's kind of hard to keep up, but I did not do that. Nexo sitting at 253. Let's see what Cellcoin is at. Where's Cellcoin? Oh, right up here, $3.11. So I haven't gone back to back test. We don't have enough data really here on, well, if we go to a different chart, this is the FTX chart, but I would like to see that green cross over the red to maybe jump in on more sell, but it's definitely going lower. So could be even a bigger buying opportunity down here for the Celsius token, but we'll just have to wait and see. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm more likely to be adding to my Ethereum and Bitcoin position at these times. That's where it's like the longer you've been in the space, the more you're just like tired of altcoins. Just completely tired of them. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like to support my channel in any way, I have a bunch of links down below for like Celsius, 𝘱𝘱𝘭𝘺. 𝘱𝘱𝘭𝘺's having some specials right now, as well as Nexo and BlockFi. But on Nexo and BlockFi, you cannot currently earn any interest on new deposits. So really keep that in mind. So Celsius and 𝘱𝘱𝘺 is pretty much the place to be right now. Those are the ones that I'm particularly using to earn interest on your crypto. So like I said, hope you found this video helpful. That is all that I have for you today as I go through and create a portfolio that you love.